Is anybody here? Well, it made it to Facebook. I'll be darned. It's hitting YouTube. No, it's not. No, it's not. Let me turn chat on real quick. This is just going to be a quick one. Hey, NJ. Is it Shelia or Shelia? I'm going to go with Shelia. What's up, Beth Huggins? Just a quick one tonight. I got all fired up on a video I just watched. And this woman she is fed up. That's all I can say. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Jan. Guess what my wife got me for Valentine's Day? She got me a studio. I was going to see if I could show it. Right now, Ethan's out running around. So I came out to the truck to do a quick live. He's all over the house. My amazingly supportive wife. That it's amazing that she still tolerates me. Because there's a lot to tolerate, trust me. Trust me on that one. And she does an amazing job of it. Hey, Steve, what's up, brother? Another awesome supporter. Wayne Jackson. Ginger Martin. All right. Anyway, I didn't announce it because this was not really planned. But you got to see this. Let me put my phone on mute. By the way, if you see me doing this right here, it's because that gives light. I know it's grainy, but at least it's better than just completely blacked out. And out in my truck is the best place to be, trust me. Ethan's been kind of loud tonight. He just came outside without a shirt on. God bless him. Okay. Let me get it muted. There. Okay. Hey, Nancy in Mississippi. Got Alabama represented. Roll Tide. I'm a huge Alabama fan. I'm already missing football. In West Virginia, Central Kansas. See, people, we're all over the place. Sometimes we think that we're kind of just, it's just a few of us. Trust me, we are everywhere. I'm about to show you an awesome video. I was just going to let a few more people get on. Eileen. What's up, Eileen from Florida? Shout out to everybody. Oh, and good news. And I want to do a major shout out. My son's baseball team was doing a fundraiser. And one of the viewers, the TNN viewers, bought some squares. And his won 1/4. And so he told me he donated the money to the channel, which I couldn't believe it. I was just so grateful. I was like, you have no idea how much that means. Because I can't afford like Rumble. You got to have Rumble subscription, restream. Right now, I should be on YouTube, but it's not working yet. I'm still like 220 subscribers, I think, from being able to go live using my phone. So be sure after this, go over to YouTube and subscribe. We only need just a few hundred more. Anyway, something's been on my mind a lot lately, and that's the race card that the left has used forever. And what's so ironic is they are the ones that are some of the worst racists on this planet. I mean, it's unbelievable, but people buy into it. So then they think that if you're on the right, that you're racist. That whole narrative. People are starting to see through it. Did you know the Blacks for Trump movement has nearly doubled in the last couple of years? Yep. Here's something a civil rights attorney. I'm assuming everybody can hear me. Surely. Y'all would be saying something if you couldn't hear me. This is a civil rights attorney. Actually, I've got two civil rights attorneys. This is just, I saw it. I got excited. Let me share it real quick. This is awesome. Because we've got to remember, man, it's happening all over the place. We're starting to see a lot of stuff go down that even a year ago we would have never seen. Watch what this guy has to say. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Okay, good. All right, let me share this real quick. Is it on there? Yes, it is. This dude he's awesome. He gets fired up.
A famous civil rights attorney slams the Democrats over these lies in a new voting. Lies are all about. Before we get to this report, I'm Rich Crankshaw, host of Crankcast Americana on YouTube. Welcome to the Next News Network. Take a moment to like, comment, share, hit that notification bell so Bill Terrell blasted Democrats for suggesting that this would stop law-abiding people from voting. What Dems won't tell you is that it has been banned for nearly 60 years. The law instead is to take away local control of elections. Mike LaChance from American Lookout reports, if you believe Democrats, you might think there are huge parts of the American population who are not allowed to vote. This is, of course, not true. But when has truth ever stopped Democrats before now? Civil rights lawyer and pundit Leo Terrell blasted awesome. The Democrats over this during a recent appearance on the Hannity show. Terrell ripped Democrats for continuing to promulgate claims that opponents of their election federalization legislation, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, are rooted in racism and that there is somehow a portion of the population that still lacks the right to vote. Take a look.
If Democrats didn't use this playbook so often, I might be offended and might take it seriously, but it just rolls off me like water off a duck's back because they use it all the time.
Well, I'll tell you right now, look, the Democrats have lied to people of color for 50 years. Let me just give you two areas where they have lied. Schools and crime. Look at the Democratic cities. And they have played the race card for over 50 years. They're in a 1965 time warp. I've said this, Sean, for the last year and a half. I want to be clear. There is no systemic racism in this country. Dr. King eliminated that with the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, and the Fair Housing Act. But the Democrats will keep reinventing the race card. You know what it is now? It's critical race theory. But if you look at the polls, it's not just Joe Biden is shrinking in the polls. He's losing black support and Hispanic support because people of color, of all colors, they're awake. They know they don't drink the Democratic Kool-Aid anymore. And
how can you not be awake? The black community thrived more. The unemployment rate, the median household income rose more during the years, in only 4 years. That was only 4 years that Trump had to do that. And that's how quickly it happened. And so many of them are about, and right now already watching, it's like, wait a second. For those 4 years, it was amazing. But now, things were really improving. We were getting great jobs, great employment. See, they don't realize the left, what they want is they want people dependent on them. They could care less. They don't care about anybody but themselves. That's why they are the wealthiest party. And so they accuse the conservatives of being the wealthiest. Now, when you look at the numbers, the numbers don't lie. It's them, because this is what they've done for so long. The deep state is constantly pushing things towards whatever will make them more wealthy. But anyway, yeah, and they're starting to wake up. It's all over the place too. You remember, you can't tell them, you have to show them, right? That's what is happening. People are being shown.
And that's why you see the Democrats in trouble and very, very desperate.
Yeah, bottom line, they don't have a leg to stand on. They have no platform. Their platform is weak. So that is the go-to. is that they
That's it. That's the go-to every time, right? Things aren't going right. Oh, racism, it's everywhere, racism. And it amazes me the people that buy into it. There was a great book. I wish I had the name of it. I just can't remember. It was a bunch of people who had been in Washington and the truth about it, and how often the left, how Democrats will laugh at how ignorant people that believe them are. I mean, they do. They in the back corner, back rooms of Washington, the left will talk about them like, and the book talks about the quotes that he had heard while in Washington, things like, oh, they're just such idiots. I mean, they're the most racist humans on this planet, which is why they're the ones that started the KKK. It was the Democrats. But anyway, or the left, I should say. I'm really starting to I don't like the Democrat Republican. There was a lot of good Democrats in this country that, over the years. My papa was one of them, just because of the way he was raised, but he was not so much liberal. So that's the distinction for me. Far left liberals versus Democrat, two completely different worlds. And a lot of times they get lumped together. Check this woman out, though. This woman gets fired up. This is awesome.
How you doing out there? Uncomfortable yet? Good. I want everyone to understand, and as much as that was a little out of protocol, what this young man just said a little while ago, I appreciate his enthusiasm and his passion, because we need to leave this place empowered. You understand? It's not good enough to just come here and listen to speeches and go back home and get comfortable again. We are at war. We are at war for our families, our children, our lives. The 14th Amendment gives us due process. It guarantees us equal protection under the laws. So why in the world are the unvaccinated being treated differently than the vaccinated? It is the new segregation. It is the new discrimination.
It is the new segregation. It is the new discrimination. That's exactly right. And they will twist it and turn it to make it look, the virtue signaling. Oh, how dare those people just must not care about other people's lives. I mean, they just won't get they won't take something that's not even, that's unapproved. They won't take a test, something that's still under testing, and shove it into their body. It's unbelievable. How dare them? That's what they've been using now for the last 2 years. All that virtualing that tells us that we're just horrible, horrible people.
And we have to stop it. Government for the people, by the people, will not be destroyed. We have to recognize our power. We are magistrates. What is happening here today, what is happening around our state and in our city, is people are invoking the doctrine of the lesser magistrates. And most of you probably don't even understand what that is, and don't even understand what I'm talking about. Well, the doctrine of the lesser magistrates is the doctrine upon which this country was founded. It is the basis of the 10th Amendment, which says that any authority that is not given to the federal government is reserved to the states. And if our local leaders fail to protect its citizens and fails to step between a tyrannical federal government and its citizens, fails to protect the rights of its citizens, then those rights and authority is extended and given to the people.
Woo-hoo. Get them, girl.
We, the people, is how the Constitution starts. A magistrate is a person that operates under authority. They have power. There are higher magistrates and there are lesser magistrates. The founding fathers of this country understood that there's going to come a point in time where the federal government will need to be checked. If not, they will become tyrants. And that is what's happening now. So, The Declaration of Independence says that everyone, by virtue of being a human being, has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The federal government, too, their purpose is to protect the rights of those citizens, the rights of us to our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The third point of that document is if they fail to protect its citizens and enforce those rights, the citizens have a right to revolt. Do you understand? We have a right to resist.
Right.
And we have an obligation and a duty to do so. Do you understand? Do you understand when it says a duty to step between a tyrannical government and its laws? They are coming for our children. We cannot sit down.
That's exactly right. What she is saying is spot on. That is why we have got to know our Constitution. We have got to take action. Sitting back, grabbing the popcorn, listening to somebody tell us that they've got inside intel, that everything's going to be just fine, may just not cut it. That may not be what we should be doing, right? Fine, if it happens, that's great. I'm more power to it, you know? But what you see these people doing, what you see her talking about, all of these things, that's us. This is the things that we have to do. Right now, over 50,000 truckers are making a difference in Canada because they decided to not grab the popcorn, sit back and watch the movie. You see, they are out there doing things that are making a difference, and they're fighting back. Don't think the deep state ain't going to fight back. We've got a heck of a fight on our hands.
Every great leader knows, every one of them, even the bad ones know, that if you want to affect the country, you go for its children. When in the world do we start using children as bulletproof vests for us? When in the world do we start testing things on children? It comes to us first. And when you come for our children, you have started a war. And they have declared war, and we are answering to that war.
Oh, side note, a group of parents took their children's mask and decided to have them laboratory tested. The results, it was sickening. It was unbelievable. That same thing that people are shoving against their kids' face all day long. There's no sanitary practices being used like is used in a hospital. Sure, they wear them in a hospital. But no, they're collecting every germ, it was unbelievable. There was like 7 different germs, diseases, what have you, stuck on those things. Because why? They are going to wear it every day, right? Especially the ones that are using the cloth ones. And the results of it were unbelievable. I think it was like 15 families that sent them off for lab testing. And people are wondering why so many kids have gotten more and more sick over the last year and a half.
We are magistrates, and I need you, each one, reach one, and teach one. Do you understand? As a magistrate in this country, the United States government, our local leaders have to answer to us. The 9th Amendment says that any rights that are not enumerated in the Constitution are reserved for the people. So I don't want to hear that mandates are not enumerated in the Constitution, because for the fact that it's not enumerated means that that authority and those rights goes to us. And so everyone, every one of these mandates are illegal. Every single one of them. Under that 14th Amendment, due process and right to equal protection is the right to protect my body.
Just real quick, I'm seeing in the comments about withdrawing the machines. Yeah, but we've made so much progress already on that. That, I think, was a one-time deal. And I think, I totally agree, Kathy. If we overwhelm them with our voting choices, we can still win. You got that right. Because, see, all of the mail-in ballots, the ballot harvesting, that all that junk that went on is going to be so much more difficult. In other words, they've gotten found out, you know. Yeah, the machines were part of it, but think about all of the different forms of attack that happened. The evidence that's come out, you know, with 38 families voting from one apartment complex, all of the Wisconsin data that just came out last week about the all the people that had post offices as their home address, a place that has 3 apartments having 100 voters. You know, that a lot of that came from ballot harvesting, not just the machines. So, yep, machines are part of it, but the strides are being made in so many different ways so that if we can overwhelm them. You know, had they not been able to use the narrative to do it last time, it wouldn't have happened because there was so many so many millions of extra votes that they had to overcome. But see, now it's going to be so much harder for them to throw an election like they did that time. That's why we've got to get out and do what we've got to do, whether it be protesting, vote. You know, we can overwhelm them. We can win. There's no doubt about it. And there's a lot of victories going on right now. Just like this. Look at how many people came out for this. People are tired of it. A year and a half ago, probably wouldn't have seen half that many.
When you want to push something into my body against my consent, without my consent, it is rape. Right. And this is medical rape. When you want to take my children into a room and give them a Snicker bar and some damn fries and talk about come get this vaccine, it is tantamount to kidnapping. That's what it is. You don't have control of my children. You don't have control of me. They shut our doors and try to give us God Fauci. To hell with Fauci.
That's right. Jail for Fauci.
The churches are surrendering their pulpits to the demonic huckle. I'm not coming to your church. You're not getting my tithe. Are you crazy? Take your children out to school. I'm a former educator of 24 years. They stopped teaching them years ago. You just didn't know.
Yes, that's true.
You just didn't know. Education went to hell years ago. They taught them compliance. They stopped teaching them to think. Analytical thought went out the window with state exams. Those state exams are just being used to track your children, to determine who's going to college, to train them to support this God-forsaken system, or the rest that's going elsewhere. They have pushed us into prisons. I don't care how you look at it. If you're in corporate America, you're imprisoned by your lifestyle. If you're in the government, you're imprisoned by your job with good benefits. You understand? If you are on subsidy, you're imprisoned by their benefits. We have to get out their system, pull yourself out, pull your dollars out, and level it. All they care about is money. And you can see it with the flip-flopping of the guidelines and of the requirements. And who's at work and who's not at work. And what court says this and another court says that.
You know why the flip-floppings happen? Because every time they start losing that battle, you see, this is how we know that the victories are coming. That's why I said Victory Monday. This right here is proof that there is nonstop victories going on, right? So they push and push and push and push to see how far we'll go. And then when people start pushing back, then they pull back on it. Okay, well, you know, you can go into a restaurant as long as you only wear your mask while you're walking from the door to the table, because, you know, COVID, it stops spreading once we sit down to eat dinner. You know, it made total sense. You know, you can go into a liquor store. That's an essential business. But the mom and pop hardware store down the road, you can't. Now, that's just too dangerous. You can go into a Walmart. You can go into it just none of it makes sense. It's the most ridiculous, and people bought right into it. Now, what's happening is what we're seeing in Canada. Okay, well, we'll back off that, but we need. So they'll go as far as we let them push us. That's how it works. So this flip-flopping that's happening. Did you hear what Fauci said today? It looks like people are going to need to get a new booster about every 5 years. You see, they are panicking, y'all. They are panicking. Everything that they've got is falling apart. Okay? Look at what the highest inflation in over 40 years. And guess what the worst enemy is of the deep state in wanting to create and institute the Great Reset? Guess what it is? Inflation. and they're trying to hide it. When Biden was being interviewed by ABC News, he asked, so what about this inflation? You know, it's going through the roof. You know what Biden said? What are you trying to be a wise guy? Just avoiding it. Jen, whatever her name, Psaki, said, yeah, there's not really any inflation. Wait till when you show up at the grocery store like we did last week, and we buy about the same stuff every time, right? Normally we'll spend $150, $170 between Aldi, Walmart, and any sales that are going on in other stores. $250. And that's what people are going to start seeing. Look at the gas prices, right? The more people see it, the more they're going to wake up. You can't tell them, you have to show them. And a lot of people, it has to hit home, directly home in their life, in their little world, before they're going to be like, wait a second. And I'm telling you, by the millions, people are coming out and saying, wait a second. I've got a great thread that I took a picture of. I wish I could show it, but it was how many people on the left were disagreeing with the left on Twitter. Like, well, you know, this makes us just like them. And it was a post about Hillary, about all this coming out about Hillary having spied on the president of the United States, right? Durham is releasing all of this stuff, okay? It's kind of dribbling out little bit by little bit. And so somebody puts a post on there. This is just another one of their things. And to distract us, or you know, it's another one of the right-wing ways of distracting us from the horrible tragedy that was while Trump was in office. And another person, a leftist, wrote in or responded to that tweet, and it was along the lines of, you know what? By pretending like that didn't happen, makes us just like them. She needs to be held accountable. Talk about Hillary, because they can see it's true. They're waking up, people. They are waking up.
We have to hold them all accountable. They want to rewrite the Constitution. I'm ready with my pen, because there's some changes that needs to be made in this country.
We need to know the Constitution.
So they better be careful who they pull to the table. They better be careful what table is spread, because I got some ideas, and I'm sure everybody here does too. No time to be comfortable. We have to fight. Every authority in this country, in this world, our laws were written and our authority is delegated by God Almighty. When the laws of this country violate and go against and contradict the laws of God, then that government has become tyrannical. They have to be overthrown. We have to revolt. We have to resist and do anything we can to protect our freedoms. And we must be involved. We must be informed. And we must be motivated to act. And we must act. Teach your children. Get them involved so they can stand. So that when someone approaches them, they can stand and know what they're talking about. You understand me? Educate yourself so that you know how to resist. They are trying to make these mandates into laws, because by the 13th Amendment, if it becomes a law and we break it, we become involuntary servants. We become slaves. They are turning our country into one massive, huge slave ship. And I don't know about you, but I'm not signing up for that cruise line.
That's exactly right. She's right.
Don't fight your neighbors. Don't fight your family members that are vaccinated and want to fight you. Walk away in peace. Try to educate them, and if they resist, leave them. Unfortunately, in every war there will be casualties. And a lot of times they will be people that we love. So be it. It is what it is. It is what it is. You love them from a distance, you pray for them, and you hope that they come over and wake up. But if they don't, we don't have time. We don't have time. We are at battle, we are in a war, and we have to keep going. We have to be uncomfortable and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We have to stand, and we are given a charge to fight for your families, fight for your homes, fight for your brothers, fight for your sisters. Because my God says, pursue the invading army. Because if you pursue them, you will recover. If we back up, we won't. These are uncircumcised Philistines. They cannot stand against the armies of the living God. We are the armies of the living God. Know who you are and whose you are. Go back to your neighborhoods and fight. We are magistrates. Let me hear you. We are magistrates. We are magistrates. Stand between an unjust government and its laws. God bless you, and God bless these United States of America.
Amen, sister. That gives a chill. I'm telling you, folks, people are coming out by the thousands. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. If you think this battle is lost, if you think our country is just going down the hill and there's no hope for it, because if they can take an election, no, I'm telling you, it's happening. People are getting fed up, and they are everywhere. And people are starting to be a little less afraid of coming out and saying stuff about it. You see, people are starting to find that backing that they need. There's strength in numbers. When, a couple years ago, everybody was kind of unsure, well, is this, maybe it really is, the real deal as far as a virus. Maybe it's, maybe we just need to just stay home and protect ourselves. Maybe that is the best thing for our family, and nobody really knew, and it was kind of hard, and there was theories out there, and now people are starting to get what they need, and that's the backing of friends, of our patriot family that we can stick strong together with, that we can do this with, right? Little bit by little bit. I mean, right now, there's 100 viewers on here. That's 100 people that we know, that you and I, every one of you know, that we've got, that has our back. You see, that's what it takes. It's these little communities here and there. It's the investigative journalism. It's looking into the things that we should be looking into ourselves. It's forming that opinion. It's not listening to the things that are false or that lead us into a place of inactive, a place of complacency, right? That we're not going to just sit back and eat our popcorn and watch a movie. We're going to get out and we're going to do things about it. Just like all those people are freezing, and there they are supporting her. And that obviously was a huge rally where a lot of people got to speak. It's happening all over the country, folks. Just remember that when it starts seeming bad, when it starts seeming like we're losing this battle, there are going to be losses. There are going to be wins. Okay? It's like any war, any battle. There's always, but that doesn't mean that we sit back and lose all hope. No, we keep our hope in the fact that, one, our God is an awesome God. Two, Paul tells us to set our affection on things above, not on things of this earth, right? And three, that we are winning. The media is not telling anybody that, and they won't. But I'm telling you, the evil powers in this world, they are freaking out. They are in a full-blown panic. You can see by how they're backing off things and how they're trying to change this, change that. Heck, they're probably going to get us into a war with Ukraine just to get our eyes off of all the corruption that's being exposed right here in the United States. And it's not just here. It's every country, So we need to be just like her. That's what we need to be. And the other thing we need is we need to know our Constitution. We've got to know it. I'm working on possibly paying several $100s. When I can, I'd like to pay to take this course. It's a Constitution course, and I want to take that, and then I could start. We could have weekly meetings where we learn more and more about the Constitution. We need to be more like her, where we can say that's the 14th Amendment. Boom, boom, boom. It says this. This is what we're supposed to do. The 13th Amendment says. That's what we need to be able to do. And I think too many, I know I don't know it well enough to be able to do that. Too many of us don't. And that's the fiber of our country, is our Constitution. When we know it, we feel more empowered to take action because we know that we've got the backing of the Constitution. And that's something that is very, very hard to overcome. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to look at comments real quick. Yeah, that's right, Marcus. Absolutely. If people hate the movie they're watching, get up from the lazy boy and change the channel. Go do something. That's exactly right. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing. Thanks, Michael Gibson. I appreciate everybody coming out. It was an impromptu. I just saw that and I got so excited. I just had to show it. But please don't forget to come over to the YouTube channel. It's TNN-Obsessed Patriot. It's getting up there. I need 226 to be able to go live on there. They still won't let me do any live broadcast over there, but I'd like to be able to. And again, shout out to Marty Tweedy. And actually, he told me to be sure and shout out the company that he's starting. I think it's called Caprite, and it's in the oil industry where they create. He's invented this cap that looks like it's just going to be taken by every oil company out there. And so the money that he won on the Super Bowl, he donated to the TNN channel. So now I should have enough to get Rumble subscription, Restream subscription to be able to stream. Restream, if I have a subscription, I can stream to multiple sources. And those may be, with what he donated, maybe 4 or 5 months now, I think. So that was just a huge blessing. Thank you so much, Marty. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying to grow this thing. We're going to keep spreading out. Not just me. This has nothing to do with me. Lock on to all those that are out there that are spreading the word, and spread those also. That's how we get, there's power in numbers. That's how it happens. Okay. Thank y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all coming out. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks, NJ. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, Scott McKay has a great Constitution guy. Okay. I'll look that up. Oh, I know there's one, Rick Green. I think Rick Green does an incredible Constitution, and that'd be a cool thing. We could meet like once a week, do like a 30-minute course in the Constitution. All of us do it together. I think it would be awesome. And if I take it first, then I would be able to teach it, and everybody wouldn't have to spend the $200-300 or whatever it is. But either way, I'll see how they work that, if they allow that, or if that's like a violation of copyright stuff or what have you. But anyway, that's right. Freedom wins. Awesome. Thank you, Pam. Thanks, Elaine. I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great night. I'll be back as soon as possible, possibly tomorrow night if I find something else that gets me that excited. All right. Y'all have a good night.